Okay, I need just the right shirt for this video. What do I gotta deal with here? Alright, no, 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 you. Good to see you again, old friend. Let's go. Has there ever been a franchise to you that you know that not every game in it is that fantastic, but regardless, you still love the entire series unconditionally? Well, for me, I think the choice is obvious. Bomberman. Boo! You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, and Kirby's pretty cool too. Kirby! Who doesn't love this little guy? Girl. Puff. His games have everything. A lot of colors, a ton of different power-ups, main villains that are straight out of the depths of hell. What's not to love? One of the more interesting things I find about the Kirby franchise is that basically for every one platformer, there's one spin-off. They're all of quality, but it seems like whenever Nintendo has a random idea they're not sure of, you could just throw it on Kirby. Why not? He could use the work. Now originally I was going to talk about all of them. That's like 12 or 13 spin-offs cooped up into one little video. That sounds like something crazy that I would normally do, but realistically, there's not much I could say about most of them. Kirby's Pinball Land. It's Kirby, it's pinball. That's about it. Now, this here is what I would like to call a bit of an advanced Kirby block ball strategy called Ball Lock. It does nothing, but I thought it was funny at the time. just look at how little of a crap Rick gives about being attacked. Oh boy. Oh boy! This is fine, I guess. But don't you fret, citizens of the internet, there is one Kirby spinoff that stands above all the rest. One that goes way beyond the title of quirky little side game. Of course I'm talking about Kirby's Toy Box for the Super Famicom Satellaview. Nah, it's Kirby Air Ride. But I almost had you for a second. So Kirby Air Ride is a racing game that only uses one button and the vehicle accelerates on its own. Say what? You heard right. In a crazy turn of events, you don't even have to touch the controller and your Kirby will move forward. I mean, it's obviously not recommended, but still.
Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
Instead, you brake with the A button, and there's a strong emphasis on timing your brakes to get around turns. And to add a bit of that Kirby flair, you can even get the series staple abilities and use them to attack your fellow racers. I particularly like how you use Plasma. It's a returning ability from Kirby Superstar, and back in there, your beam would become more powerful as you jittered around back and forth. And in Kirby Air Ride, it's the same thing, which means a whole lot of this, leading to a lightning ball of death and destruction! Cannot believe I managed to use that stupid joke again. There's a plethora of different stars with unique attributes that you get to ride on as well. Of course, there's the basic Warp Star, which is the well-rounded selection, but then you got stars like the Slick Star, which has high top speed but terrible traction, the Swerve Star, which literally cannot turn at all unless you're completely still, the Shadow Star, which, it radiates evil, that's about it, and more. The drastic differences between the vehicles, combined with the overly simplistic controls, actually makes for a really fun time and a racing style that's easy to learn and somewhat tough to master. The courses go by pretty fast, and it's easy to not get in first if you don't have your shortcuts planned out in advance. It's no Mario Kart obviously, but really, what is? Correct answer, Mario Kart. Now before talking about the gameplay modes, I want to talk about one feature that keeps this game together: the checklists. And might I just say, this is kind of bold, but I fully believe that the whole checklist idea is the smartest thing Masahiro Sakurai ever put into his games. Ever. And it's just, oh hey, you did a thing, they marked it off the checklist, here's a sticker, that's it. That's the entire concept. So, for example, by finishing races in a specific time, racking up enemy kills, seriously almost anything, You will open up a spot on a large grid, most likely unlock something, and get told how to break open the spots around it. This idea would later be used in Kid Icarus Uprising and Smash Bros., and it is one of the best examples of replay value I have ever seen. It just keeps you going and playing the game in different ways. You may unlock nothing, but on the other hand, you may unlock a new star to ride on, which, in turn, lets you open up more spots on the grid. It feels like this endless cycle, and it is awesome. It feels nice to actually get something by playing the game rather than just an inflated ego. Look how many PlayStation trophies I've accumulated over the years, and yet I feel empty inside. The checklist reigns supreme. Good on you, Sakurai. And now for the 3 gameplay modes. First up is Air Ride, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's your standard racing. There's a solid handful of tracks with unique settings and track gimmicks. And hey, controls being unusual aside, it is what it is, and it's fun. Can't complain. Then we have Top Ride, which is pretty different. This is instead top-down racing with incredibly short tracks and special powers. It's a neat little diversion that is also fun, but it doesn't come close to being as enjoyable as Air Ride is. Anybody else play with slot cars when they were a kid? Anyway. And then there's the final mode, the magnum opus of the game, the cream of the crop when it comes to Kirby spinoffs. If you haven't experienced it before, quite frankly, you have yet to live. This is City Trial. Guys, this mode is so good. In this mode, what happens is you and 3 other Kirbys get dropped off in a random location in a fairly sizable city. Go. You're kinda just free to do whatever you want for 5 minutes. There are special events that pop up randomly to make each trip through the city exciting, but the main goal remains the same. You enter a random challenge against the other racers at the end of that time, so you have those 5 minutes to customize your ride to your liking. Want to get items to buff up your stats? You can do that. Want to go find a special start to use instead of the boring one you start off with? You can do that. Want to glitch the game so Kirby starts breakdancing? You can do that. If you're really lucky, there are 2 special rides that you can get by finding ride pieces in boxes. First up is the Dragoon, which has fantastic stats all around and by far the best flying ability. And secondly is the Hydra. It takes quite a long time to charge up, but man, when this baby is full up and ready to go, these fools don't know what's about to hit them. Wait for it, and boom! So long, suckers! Oh hey, some spots on the checklist opened up too. I feel it's kinda tough to explain why this mode is so fun, but it just has this sense of randomness that doesn't interfere with how you enjoy your stay in the city. In fact, it makes your stay 10 times better. I spent so many hours in this city as a kid, either with friends or by myself, and it never once got old. Not even 10 years later, it is still a blast. The mode would somewhat return in Smash Bros. 3DS with Smash Run, but honestly, it's just not as good. City Trial is still way better. Now, is that just my bias to Kirby? Of course it is. What do you want me to say? And while both Air Ride and Top Ride are fun, it is City Trial along with the checklist. That is why Kirby Air Ride is so fantastic. Quite frankly, if you're a fan of the pink puffball or not, this game comes highly recommended because it is some of the most fun you will have on this console. And please, please, Nintendo, make another one. But now, I was making fun of it before, but I'm legitimately curious about what Kirby's Toy Box is. Being on the Satellaview basically means that anyone who had a chance to play it had so for a very short amount of time, but luckily, emulation is a thing, there are ROMs of it online, and it seems like there were a handful of minigames you could choose from, one of which is a baseball game. That's right up my alley. What do we got? Fun? Well, there's another video all wrapped up and out there, and hey, if you liked it, I would really appreciate it if you clicked the like button and shared it around. And if you're new, subscribe, that'll all help me out immensely. You can check out more of my stuff by clicking the boxes right here, follow me on Twitter to keep up with my nonsense, and I have to give a major thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. I finally came up with a way to show love to all of them, so if you're one of them, thank you so much. With all that said, looks like my ride is here, so I gotta go. Bye-bye!